Shalom, Pastor Hawking, back at you once again, giving all praises to YAHAWASHI, QADASH. And I'm going to entitle this video Gog and Magog Armageddon and Revelation 20 verse 7. Not yet. Anyway, this is a video that was put up by elder of GMS Dallas, Yahawah. So I saw the video and I had to put it up. I had to make a copy and re-upload it. Entitled, you notice I put the re-upload. It said Christian pastor tries to break down end time prophecy. And this is a real show, a comedy show. So you can watch the video on my channel, or you can actually go to the Dallas channel, where I got it from, which is Remnant Save 144, or either Remnant Save 144B, because I believe he made a backup channel. He did a video on it. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going to go with this. I don't know how long this is going to be. Anyway, I was going through the comments. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually go to the page, the page that the video was originally put up, which is Remnant Saved. Go to videos, Remnant Saved 144. Like I said, he has backup channels to this. I believe that one of the backup channels to this one is a B or BaHa, I believe it is, for 2 or B. Anyway, so this is the video.
Peace and salutation to you. See the title of this video. This is why nobody wants to listen to Christian pastors anymore. Okay, and this is a known false prophet. I forget his name, but he's hilarious. I think he's a false prophet. Yeah.
He's not a false prophet, he's a false clown. Or a real clown.
And pretty much he's getting ready to try to break down what's happening, with Russia and Ukraine, which we go into these things all the time. All right, and for years, Christian pastors, they didn't go into prophecy. They would tell you it's sealed, or you don't need to worry about that. But with the rise of the Israelites, we go into these things for the most part, the Israelite camps. All right, some,
Yeah, let me read that real quick. Basic scripture. Where am I? Bring this over. I was listening. Who was I listening to? What is this guy? Jonathan. Give me a second here. I was listening to this guy. This is John Williams, and you should subscribe to this individual. He goes into a lot of good videos dealing with the economy, dealing with real estate. He's a real estate, not agent, he's a real estate investor. You invest in real estate. But, when you're in real estate, you're dealing with money, you're dealing with the economy. And when you're dealing with the economy, it goes beyond buying and selling houses, because the economy affects how you're going to do in the real estate market. Anyway, Let me go down. Okay, there's another individual I listen to, Rethink the Dollar. The Jake's name is Mike, and I want to watch this later. It says Russian invasion is not what it seems. So I got to watch that. Caught my eye. The title, Thursday Live Talk, your topic, your voice. So you want to know when there's a major event that happens on a global scale, you want to know the backstory, what's happening behind. There's always something happening behind the scenes. All right. So, oh, and by the way, this guy, Jonathan Williams, let me bring him up again. And I just got finished watching the video. He mentioned how gold shot up. And what I did was I said, well, let me go to Monex. This is my go-to site. There's many sites on gold. If you put in gold price, it'll give you a bunch of sites. I just been dealing with Monex for years, so I'm used to them, used to their layout, their format. Anyway, this is the gold prices. And you see how it fluctuates. You know, it went from, what was this, January 28. So we're talking about almost a month later. That was 24.17. And now it's 26.12. So that's a pretty good jump for silver, not for gold, but for silver. So we go to the gold. And I watch these financial stations as well. You know, Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, which is on YouTube. You can watch them live. Anyway, this is gold, right? Gold is now $1,907. Let me go to the chart. Okay, there's a chart right there. Okay. This is the end of, where is it, the end? This is around January, the end of January, like January 28. Let me see something, is that 2020? Go right here, bear with me for a minute. Okay, you got 1,700 as of January 7, 2020. So a month later, it went from 1,700, really almost 1,800, and it jumped up more than $100 at 1911. So this is an upward trend. Okay. So both your gold and silver is going up because of the surroundings. And I said this in previous videos. So come back. What did I say I was going to do? I said I was going to go. Okay, let me bring this over. And we're coming to the wire. All you phonies, all you fakers out there, all you agents, all you spies, all you agent provocateurs, you know, the Most High is going to deal with every last one of you harshly, and not just you. He's going to deal with things around you, and he's going to bring you down to the ground. Yeah, I did a video, but the sound didn't come up, and I'm pissed off, dealing with Herod, and I believe I titled it, Herod had Israelites fighting in his personal army. He had a personal army. That's in Luke. It says men of war. Let me get that. Let me get that first. Let's see if that's the right phrase. Bear with me for a minute. It's in Luke, I know that much. Okay, it says Luke 23, verse 11. And Herod with his men of war, this is his personal army, which he had over 20,000 Roman troops. He had 3 legions, Roman legions that at one time lent the Roman Empire lent the men out, set him at naught and mocked him, the Lord, and arrayed him in a gorgeous robe and sent him again to Pilate. So the muscle of Pilate was really Herod. They were working together. But when you go into that history, you find out that you had a lot of Jakes that were fighting for the Edomites, for Herod, not the Edomites, Herod. And you had, and I said this before, you had Edomites fighting during it. I'm talking about the time period of 70 AD, 66 AD, all the way up into 73, 74 AD. And it was a good video, and I was a little pissed off, but you know what? Most High willing, I'll do the video again. There's no big deal. So let me see what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back over here. Let me let you listen to a little bit more. And because the bottom line is this: these Christians don't know prophecy. Now you got, and especially Jake, they're clueless when it comes to the prophecies. They stay away from the prophecies. So the elder Yashawamba, he had quoted Isaiah. Let me bring it up. And the top individuals that understand all the prophecies of the scriptures are the men of GMS. If you go to IUIC, you ain't gonna get all the prophecies. You're gonna get some of them, because Bishop Nate, Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Nathaniel, whatever you want to call him, all he does when it comes to prophecy is he regurgitates what he learned from One West. He's not going to go into Daniel 11. You know, he's not going to go into Second Ezra's 11, Second Ezra's 12, which I re-uploaded a video that was also put up by GMS Dallas, dealing with Second Ezra's chapter 11. I don't know if they did a Second Ezra's chapter 12. And so the only other camp, I have to say this, is the Sakari. The Sakari, I would say, I don't know if they know all the term is hermeneutics. We call it breakdowns, so make it simple for you, of all the prophetic scriptures, but they know a lot, basically because Eleazar, chief high priest, as his title is, came up under us first. So when he heard us go through the breakdowns, he said, yeah, that resonated with his spirit. And as far as these other Israelite groups go, they know some prophecies, but they don't know the prophecies the way Great Millstone knows the prophecies. Okay, so I want to come down to here. I'll start at the 9th verse. Isaiah 29, verse 9. Stay yourself and one to cry, yell and cry. They are drunken, meaning Jake is drunken. They're drunken with what? With philosophies, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For Yahawah hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed. which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, it is sealed. This is somebody that went to a theological cemetery. It says, and the book is delivered to him that is not learned, meaning a storefront corner church, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned. I didn't go to a theological seminary. Okay, so you're gonna run into two type of people when you run into Christians. You're gonna run into everyday, run-of-the-mill Christian that goes to church and doesn't understand the scriptures, and then you're gonna have the pastors and ministers, and then you're gonna have the scholars. Really, if anybody understands prophecy, would be the Edomites out there that are so-called high-level Christian scholars slash Masons. They would know it, and they watch us. They watch us to see if what we're saying. Mainly GMS. Why do you think vocab is always going after GMS? Because we're the #1 group. So let me go here. Let me go to this one. Okay, this is the one that LD Yashawamba put up. And I'm gonna deal with the title, dealing with this Russia and Ukraine thing. And well, today I heard it on Karen Hunter on XM Radio. If you got XM Radio, you can listen to her. And she's into the scriptures, into the prophetic parts of the scriptures. And she mentioned it briefly about, they were talking about Russia invading the Ukraine, and she mentioned Gog and Magog. And she said, I'm gonna get some passes on here, and we're gonna go through this Revelation thing, and this, that, and the third. The #1 group that you got to deal with is GMS. You just can't go to any Israelite group. You got to go to the top, which is GMS. So you got a lot of these guys, these other Israelite groups, not totally knocking them, but they don't have the whole truth. They don't understand all the prophecies. Because if they did, they would be teaching that the MOTB, which I always speak about, they would understand that the MOTB has to come before the destruction comes. So this thing is not going to turn into the destruction, and the angels are going to come, the Lord, the angels, Michael, and we're going to be out of here. So their timetable is oh, we might be out of here in the next 3 months. No. We're going to be here a little bit longer than that. Maybe a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I'm hoping that it's inside of this year, because this year's how can I say this year saying is turned up. YAHAWASHI turning up. And you know what he did? He turned us up. There's videos being put out, man. Spirit jump on me. I might do a video, then I'll come back later in a day and do another video. And there's so many videos being put up, especially by, I'll say all of them. All the major camps are doing videos. But the videos that you should watch are the GMS videos. Anyway, on the comment section of the video, I'll let you listen to a little bit more. This is me, don't take the charagma. Yeah, I put Hosea 9:7, the days of visitation are come. The days of recompense are come. Recompense me in payback. Payback is a bitchy, so Israel shall know the prophet a fool, the spiritual man mad, for the multitude of thine iniquities and the great hatred. So that precept came to mind because this guy, when you listen to this guy, he said that the serpent was an actual serpent, and the Most High took his legs. That's why he wound up on his belly. And I'm cracking up. Okay, this is Kawa, daughter of Zion. I'm not going to read this one because that's a woman. Woman is not supposed to be making no. The only thing they should do is say, yeah, well, this is half good. The water Ak for now he's not an Ak, he's an elder, enlightening our eyes with your teaching. My ears started itching when I listened. Listen, this pastor talking shalom. These pastors ain't got it. Probably the first time he ever got into prophecy in his life. Well, he did. I've seen him before, and he knows about us. He's a clown out of Harlem. And this guy is freestyling like nobody's business, and that's what they all do. That's what they all do. My main man, what's this guy? He sounds like Sergeant Waters. And the Lord, read it again. What did the Lord say? Jennings, Pastor Geno Jennings, AKA Sergeant Waters from A Soldier Story. That's him. The spirit of strong delusion is heavy in this guy. He's probably have withdrew from pork ribs and double bacon burger, talking all kind of craziness. And see, people are beginning to realize the go-to people, the people to go to are the Israelites. You know, Esau wanted to make us, oh, we're a hate group with this. What about a prophetic group? Part of the Israelites, the ones that are out in the camps, and that's in numbers, that there were two men that was out in the camp, and Joshua said, he told Moses why they out there in the camp speaking, prophesying. And Moses said, I wish that all the children of Israel were able to prophesy. And they are, pursuing to Joel 2. Listening to this man, I'm out one, I buy 144, listening to this man was extremely painful. Well, listening to this man, me listening to him was extremely funny. This is beyond winging it. GMS, love to edify. Arrows of indignation, 144, Matthew 13 and 16. Right, Most High gonna take it away. Well, he never had it. This clown never had it. He's really confident too. And this is me, Revelation 13 and 2. Yeah, because and when you read this, when you watch the rest of the video, you understand what I'm talking about, because it speaks about the beast. It says the leopard's head, which is Alexander. Then it says the feet of a bear. That's talking about Russia, and the feet are the bottom of the last part of the empire. You notice that the leopard was mentioned first, and the feet of the bear mentioned last. The head, the beginning of it was Alexander. The end of it is going to be the Russians, because they're going to ultimately be a part of the destruction of Babylon in this system. Another good one. This clown has been talking about the Israelites for years. Laugh out loud. He kind of reminds me of Yohana. Yohana is famous for winging scriptures. Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. I'll put up a bunch of, but it's kind of spread out. I put in, that's my nigga from the old days. I got 11 thumbs up. That's my nigga from the old days. That's a t-shirt right there. You sell that at barbecues, cookouts, and family reunions. You put your picture there, your main nigga. Oh man. Yeah, HALAL Obadiah. This reminds me of the In Living Color parody with Damon Wayans in jail with the Kufi. Or a better one is the one where he's a pastor. There's two pastors. It's him and it's what's it? The white boy, Jim Carrey. And that shit is fucking hilarious, man. Oh, that shit is hilarious. So put that in there, Jim Carrey and Damon Wayans, pastors. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. If I can spell them names. Come on now. I'm gonna get in the scriptures in a minute. Hold tight. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey. It's acting up now. Pastor. Pastor in Living Color. Oh boy, oh, this is it. Jim Carrey in Living Color, the Reverend. These dudes are funny as hell. They're both funny. They're both funny as hell. That's the typical black pastor. And this is the, swaggered, look at him, look at him, look at him. He got all into the spirit of it. Anyway, when you come back to this guy, that's him. He's a parody. He ain't nothing but a walking, talking, sitting parody. Anytime they make TV shows or movies about a black church, there's always a comedy. There's always a comedy. Or there's a drama with a whole lot of drama in it. A whole lot of adultery, mother get shot, nigga get stabbed. Son is on drugs. The pastor's laying down with the musical director, which they always mows. Anyway, let me get into the precepts. Let me just put in Gog. Let me put in Gog. Gog. Let's see what comes up. But Jake is talking about it. Ever since the Russians invaded the Ukraine, which is part of their territory anyway, they just taking it back and they have the right to. Jake's been talking about Gog and Magog. Okay, where am I? Boom. Let me do this again. Okay, believe it or not, Gog is in the scriptures 11 times and 9 verses in the King James. Okay, First Chronicles, which means records. Greek word chronos, which means time or history or records. 5 and 4, the sons of Joel, Shemaiah, his son Gog. I gotta look into this because I don't know if these are Israelites. One of the Israelites is named Gog. Anyway, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Let me go to the first verse. Okay. These are the sons of Reuben, and one of the sons' name was it says the third verse, the sons I say of Reuben, the first of Israel, were Henoch and Pelu, Hezron, and Carmi, the sons of Joel. So these are You know, these are the sons. These are not the actual sons of Japhet. Okay, so the second time is written in here, Ezekiel 38, verse 2. Let me start at 1. Bear me for a minute. Give me a second. Okay, it says Ezekiel 38 and 1. And the word of the Lord came, the Yahawah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers, modern weapons and shields, all of them handling swords. Modern swords are missiles. So you got people saying, well, this is the fulfillment of Ezekiel 38, them going into Ukraine. Let's see where this goes. But it ain't going to explode to the point where the Lord's going to come back. Like I said, the MOTB has to come first before the destruction comes. The destruction of the system. The destruction of the system, you thinking, well, the U.S. is going to get involved, but China's going to get involved, but this is going to happen, then the Lord's going to come back. So we hoping in 3 months. No, you got to be tested first, pursuant to Revelation 3:10. But a lot of jakes are talking about it, but they don't know how to break it down. Let's come back. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. I'm gonna take this. Like I said, I didn't have nothing planned. Okay, let me see if I can find. Bible Hub. Let me go to the, normally the shortest one is normally the, well, that's a long one. This one is long. Yeah, these are nice long ones. I guess these so-called Christian scholars think they know something. Let me see something. Okay, it mentions Prince of Rosh, which is Russia. I'm not going to read through all of this. Okay, let me try Ellicott's commentary for English readers. God, the land of Magog. Magog is mentioned in Genesis 10:2, Chronicles 1:5, in connection with Gomar, the Carmerians, and Madai, the Medes, as the name of a people descendant from Japhet. Early Jewish tradition adopted by Josephus and Saint Jerome, which he was a Jake, identified them with the Scythians, the Scythians. So they know something. They know that God is, I gotta take time to read this whole. So let me take out the Scythians. Let's see what the Scythians are. I already know who the Scythians are. And in this commentary, a pulpit commentary, it mentions the word rush, a translation inherent to Hengstenberg's Ewald, and Smind, or according to the Septuagint, which most expositors and the revived version follow the prince of Rush, Meshach, and Tubal. And Rush is basically Russia. So they know a little something. That's why the commentaries are so long. But anyway, I took the word Scythians, right? Come on back. So Gog and also Magog, Gog keyword, they're saying are the Scythians. It said the Scythians, pronounced Scythians, were a group of ancient tribes of nomadic warriors who originally lived in what is now southern Siberia. That's in Russia. When they want to punish you, they send you to Siberia. Their culture flourished from around 900 BC to around 200 BC, by which time they had extended their influence all over Central Asia. Asia is like Europe, from China to the northern Black Sea. Black Sea, Caspian Sea, you got, look up a modern map, look up an ancient map, Black Sea, Caspian Sea. You got the Caucasus right there in the middle of those seas. And to the east of that, you got, which is now called Russia. It says Scythians. The Scythians, or Cis, also known as Saka and Sake and Ishkuzi and Ishkuzai, were an ancient nomadic people living primarily in the region known as Scyth, which today comprises the Eurasian, what is that? Steppes of Kazakhstan, the Russian steppes. I hope I'm saying that right. Of the Siberian, Ural, Volga, and southern regions, and eastern Ukraine. So they know something. They know something. Let me click on this. These are the ancient Seth, and that's an Afro pick. So they had to be Jacob in there, man, and Japhet. Scythian comb, which is an Afro pick. Let me open this up. That's an Afro pick right there. You see the beds. Wow. Scythian comb. You can't comb with no straight hair with this. This is an Afro pick from Solakha, early 4th century BC. So let's come down here. Turkic tribes, the Roman Empire, Arabia. This is where this is like a lower region of Russia. You know, when you go further northeast, you see that big land, that landmass, that's Russia. So what they did was they pulled up, and you got a mixture. You got Russians that look like Japhet, you got Russians that look like Moabites, and you got Russians that look like Edomites. So as a mixture, a lot of those Russian boxes are a lot of them like Moabites, the Japhites. So we're just giving you a little history there. So Esau knows. Esau when it comes to Gog, all I had to do is read a little bit from the commentary. It's in one commentary. It said Rosh, Rosh, and it said Gog and Magog being Scythians, and I already knew the Scythians are the Russian people, are of Russian, Russian extraction. And they're mighty people. They're warlike people. They love war, man. Now, who Ukrainians, man, they said, look, we love going to war. And so they're gonna go to war with this big major empire, They're warriors in their heart. This guy, Vitaly Klitschko, one of the Klitschko brothers, I believe he's a mayor. He's been in politics after he retired from boxing. But that dude said, if we got to go to war, I'm putting on military gear and I'm going to war, even if I have to die. That's a true blue devil right there. If he is a devil, he might be a Jake. Them guys, his younger brother, you have Vitaly Klitschko and Vladimir Klitschko. When he came from the Ukraine to get advanced training from Emmanuel Stewart in Detroit, he said the first thing, and it's in the interview, he said the first thing I did when I came over here and I had to do this, the very first thing that I did, I had to meet Black people. Now, could he be saying that to be nice, or could he be a Jake? They got Jake flavor. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying every cracker that I see is, oh, you an Israelite. No, but he may be. Israelites look like everybody under the sun, including Edomites. You're going to have Israelites with blonde hair, blue-eyed, and pale skin, and leprosy. Jake gets leprosy. It's called albinoism. You going to call him an Edomite? No. Okay, so now let's come back. Where am I? Okay, I think I'm right here. Okay, so this is the prophecy that's getting ready to come to pass. After they make the MOTB mandatory. You feel me? Anyway, let's come back. So the ones of you Jakes out there that can't see it, you're cloudy, your brain is fogged. You get one day, you half-ass Israelites, you half-ass prophets, you guys that take the winter off like IUIC, they take the whole winter. The ones in the Northeast, they take the winter off. And it's been a mild winter. This winter that we're still in was a piece of cake. Okay, so okay, this is Ezekiel 39:1. Therefore, thou son of man, prophesy against God and say, thus saith the Lord power, Yahawah, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. I always get into 30 to 38 chapter. I don't get into the 39th chapter, too tough. Basically, this deals with pretty much the aftermath of this destruction. See how they messing with me now? One more time and I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. What the hell? Okay, it came up. It just came up. Prophecy against Gog, invaders destroyed. Gog, Meshach, and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and leave but a sixth part of thee, and will cause thee to come up from the north parts. The scriptures speak about the, what is that, Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51. And the scriptures speak about the northern army. The northern army is America. And will bring thee upon the mount of Israel. Now this is the fulfillment of Revelation 20 verse 7, and I'll read that in a minute. There's not too much, it doesn't say too much about Gog and Magog. It's not, it's, you know, you can't, you know, Gog and Magog will not be mentioned in a whole lot of prophetic scriptures, but it's mentioned big time in the book of Ezekiel. And I put in Gog, and they showed you pretty much, what is that, First Chronicles, I think it was. And then it shows you Ezekiel 38 now, Ezekiel 39. It says, and I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand, and will cause thine arrow to fall out of thy right hand. In other words, you ain't gonna do what you're gonna want to do with those missiles. The arrows represent ICBM missiles. The Most High is gonna make the missiles of Gog and Magog go where he wants it to go. Thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel, thou and all thy bands. This is in Revelation 20 verse 7. And the people that is with thee, I will give thee unto the ravenous birds. So not only is the northern army in Joel 2, their bodies are going to rot between the Great Sea and the utmost sea. How's it go? The utmost sea. Somebody can put it, I'm not going to go to it. Joel 2. I believe that's Joel 2 and 19, if I'm not mistaken. And they're going to just die over there. You're not going to be bringing any bodies back to the United States to bury, because there's not going to be any place to come back to, because Babylon the Great will be utterly destroyed. Thou shalt fall upon the, and a lot of the Russians are going to, Russian military is going to fall too in the valley of decision. And Jehoshaphat, which is Yahawah's judgment. Thou shalt fall upon the open field, for I have spoken it, saith Yahweh the Most High. And I will send a flag on Magog, and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. Yeah, the people that live on the various islands, we're going to take over the whole world. So we're going to introduce ourselves to everybody on the planet. And if they don't like it, they're going to get fucked up. Real talk. They're going to get beat down, punished, destroyed, head chopped off. Fire is going to come out of our mouth. Fire is going to come out of our hands. We're going to have spiritual powers. We're going to invade these people for real. So I will make my holy name known in the midst of my people Israel. So all you simple ass niggas, all you agents, agent provocateurs, spies, all you jakes out there that had came up against the prophets of the Lord, and you got a big, Jake got the ones of you that woke up to Israel, you got a group of Israelites that can't stand the camps. Oh, that camp nonsense. Well, guess what? What do you think the prophets are? The prophets are in the camps, dumbass. I will not let them pollute my holy name anymore. And yeah, you ain't gonna be calling on Jesus. You ain't gonna be saying in the kingdom Most High and Christ bless. You ain't gonna be saying that bullshit. Trust me. Trust me. You ain't gonna be saying, you ain't gonna be calling on sweet Jesus in the kingdom. Because if you do, you're gonna get, let me just shut up. There's gonna be nothing but order in the kingdom of heaven. It's gonna be, as I said used to say years ago, it's gonna be a stone cold dictatorship. And like I'm gonna say it again, all you fake ass Israelites, all you motherfuckers that put your hand to the plow and look at back, all you niggas that took breaks, all you spies, all you agents, all you demons, all you agent provocateurs, when your black ass is in the kingdom, you're gonna have your head down for a certain amount of time. And we're gonna pat you on the back and say, it's all right, brother. Put your black ass head up. And more, and the heathen, like I said earlier, I did the video, the sound didn't come out, about Herod. A great deal of men that fought for him, part of his army, was actually Jake. So you had Jake killing Jake in the Roman Jewish wars of 70 AD, and they were fighting for a damn devil that looked like a nigger. Yeah, the sons of Antipater, the Idumean, his sons and his daughters looked like Israelites, but they were tears. And the heathen shall know that I am YAHAWAH, the Holy One in Israel. Behold, it is come and it is done, meaning the destruction is come, saith YAHAWAH the Most High. This is the day whereof I have spoken. What day is that? The destruction of this man's system. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. It's right around the corner. But it's not going to happen now for you other Israelites out there. And for you other Israelites out there. It ain't going to happen now. You're going to have to be tested. You're going to have to pass that major test in Revelation 3 verse 10. 9th verse, and they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth. Who's dwelling in the cities of Israel? A bunch of Edomites, right? But then you got a bunch of Jakes. Do you know, I don't know the exact number, but there has to be literally, I would say, over 100,000 actual Israelites that came back, that went over there back in the late 60s, early 70s. It says, and they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, because nations shall not learn war anymore. It said they shall burn the weapons. So this 39th chapter is talking about the aftermath of this war. And the hand stave. Now, what would be a hand stave? It would be a rocket launcher. And the spears. What comes out of the rocket launcher? A spear. What is a modern day spear? A projectile. And they shall burn them with fire 7 years. The meaning they're going to destroy all these weapons until there's no weapon left. And this is not a real super deep breakdown, like somebody can't see it. You need the full breakdown. If the spirits on somebody, you want to go through the whole chapter 39, and for that matter, chapter 38. It said in 12 verse, I'm jumping to the 12th verse, and 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, 7 meaning completion, until the job's done, that they may cleanse the land, because Israel's going to be destroyed, but it's going to be built back up. So the land is going to be built back up. Yeah, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall bury them, Jack, and it shall, inside joke, shall be to them a renown, the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord. So it's going to be a famous, that destruction is going to be a famous day. We're going to have a high holy day to commemorate the destruction of this man's system and the upliftment of us. And they shall, this is what I want. I was going to look for this, but it's here. and they shall sever out men of continual employment. So you Edomites, you don't have to worry about being unemployed. You're going to be employed. You just ain't going to get paid. Passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it, because the land of Israel has to be cleansed. After the end of 7 months shall they search. And the passengers that pass through the land, when any seeth a man's bones, so that obviously that was a man that decomposed, a warrior, then shall he set up a sign by it, till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamongog. And also the name of the city shall be Hamonah. Thus shall they cleanse the land. Let me pull out these words. Let me pull up the word Hamonah. So to come up. It's taking its sweet time coming up. Anyway, you know what? Forget it. You can look it up on your own. Maybe somebody got it. They can look it up. But I think it has, I'm positive it has something to do with the word to cleanse. 17 verse. And thou, son of man, thus saith the Most High Yahawah, speak unto every feathered fowl and every beast of the field, assemble yourself and come, gather yourself on every side to my sacrifice, that I do sacrifice for you. And that's also in Revelation, that the birds are going to eat. They're going to have a meal. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Revelation 19. Even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Yasha'Allah, that I may eat flesh and drink blood. Ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes of the earth, of these other nations, and rams and lambs. Now in Isaiah 34, it speaks about the Edomites being rams and lambs and bullocks, and of goats and bullocks, all of them fatlings of Bashan. Now when you come down here, there's the last, what is it, 4 or 5 verses. The headline is Israel restored. Thus saith therefore saith Yahawah, the Most High of hosts, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob. In other words, we're going to come out of the captivity and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will be jealous for my holy name. Because the only name of the Most High that's going to be proclaimed throughout the land is Yahawah, BaHa YAHAWASHI. After that, they have borne their shame and all their trespass, which are Israelites, whereby they have trespassed against me when they dwelt safely in their land, and none made them afraid. Because in the kingdom, we're going to be on top. And another thing, we're going to have spiritual power. You know, you watch a movie, the X-Men and the Avengers and these superheroes, well, that's going to be us. But we can't die. There's not going to be any kryptonite. '29 verse. Neither will I hide my face anymore from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel. And it's not talking about the body of believers, saith Yahawah. It's talking about the actual house of Israel. Let's find out. Let's see if this comes up. Okay, boom, it came up. Okay, Israel, the house of Israel. Yasher Allah, which means Israel, God prevails. It doesn't mean that, it actually means he is a prince with God. The second name of Jacob, given to him by the Most High after the wrestling event with the angel at Peniel, which is face of the power, face of God. It says the name of the descendants and the nation of the descendants of Jacob. The name of the nation until the death of Solomon and the split, right? Because it was two. You had the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel. The name used and given to the northern kingdom, consisting of 10 tribes under Jeroboam. The southern kingdom was known as Judah, the name of the nation after the return from exile. And they never returned, they never got back together as a nation as we know. But the people out there don't know, you know? Anyway, let me leave you with this right here. And I'm going to close. Let's go to Revelation. And that's part of the title of this video. I mentioned Revelation 20, verse 7. So these are the only few times that Gog, in that case, Magog, is mentioned in the scriptures. Satan freed doom. Revelation 20, verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations, which is talking about right now, starting with Christopher Columbus, the Spanish Inquisition, you know, Torquemada, Queen Isabella, King Ferdinand, the crypto Jews, the Moors, the sacking of King Boadil, which was the last king of the Moors. And the last stronghold was Granada. It says, Revelation 20, verse 8, and shall go to deceive the nations. And the last deception is the MOTB, which are in the four quarters of the earth, the whole planet, Gog and Magog, to gather them together. So if you're teaching that the fact that they invaded the Ukraine is talking about this right here, nah. Now they can stay there for a whole year. It can be a full-on war. Like you had World War I, which was, what was it, 4 years, almost 5 years. You had the World War II, which went on for years. You had the Vietnam conflict, which went on for, which was a continuation of the Korean conflict, or the Korean police action, because they were under the UN. It says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. So this test is going to be a worldwide test. Gog and Magog, which represents Russia, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints. Saints are the people, the Israelites, and it's also the land. The camp is also the land. And the beloved city, it's a people, and also it's the place. Isaiah 52 tell you that the land or the city is a people. And fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. That fire is talking about fire from the angels coming from the ships, and the missiles being shot on them from the northern country and other countries. And the devil that deceived them, and ain't talking about the spiritual demon, it ain't talking about the guy on the hot sauce bottle. It ain't talking about the spiritual demon Satan. And they made a movie years ago. I believe the movie was called Them Damn Yankees. And if I'm not mistaken, they had to make the one team to beat the Yankees had to make a deal with the devil. And I believe it was Sammy Davis Jr. that played the devil. So they said, who's gonna play a good devil? Let's get a nigga to play the devil. And that's also in your Sistine Chapel. You see the so-called Most High God, butt-ass naked, touching his finger with the finger of Adam, all right? And then you see, I believe it was Michael, what looked like an oar in his hand, beating the hell out of a Jake. So they showing you that's white supremacy right there. That the Sistine Chapel is all about white supremacy. They conquered us, and they rejoice in conquering us. And Lamentations said they waited for that day and they clapped their hands. It says, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire, which is Babylon the Great, where the beast and the false prophet are. And now you got all these pastors trying to find out what the beast is. The beast is NATO and the EU, which includes the US and Canada, and shall torment and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. I'm not going to read anymore, but anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom, and you can go on and on with this subject, but now we're going more into, we've always gone into prophecy, but now we're focusing on prophecy. We're going over these prophetic scriptures that we broke down, been breaking down, and we'll continue to break down. So this is the last few prophecies before our kingdom comes. So it's right around the corner, y'all. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.